Hey guys, how's it going? This is Jerry with Wealth Dynamics. Hope you're having a terrific night today, or this morning if you're in a different time zone. Could be tonight. It's dark where I'm at right now. Anyways, I want to come at you today with a video about problems. Okay, just how big are your problems? We all have problems, right? And so I want to talk today about why I believe you should actually increase the size of your problems, okay? Some of the problems people are probably dealing with watching this video is definitely money. You know, maybe you don't have enough money. Maybe there's not enough in savings. Maybe your income is not high enough. Maybe you have debt and you're worried about it. Could be health. Could be relationships. Could be that you're bored. That's definitely a problem. By the way, bored is a problem that creates more problems. Just want to throw that out there real quick. But I want to give you a real quick thought on problems, okay? Now, here's the deal. The problems you're dealing with right now are only big because you're not looking at other stuff. Okay, when you look at just that thing, it looks like that's the only thing there is in the world. When you look at just that thing, it magnifies the size of the problem. So think about your problem. Maybe you're paycheck to paycheck right now, and you're worried about how am I going to pay rent? Or how am I going to pay my mortgage this month? Or maybe, you know, your problem is, hey, I'm 50. I'm supposed to be able to retire in 10 years, and I can't. I don't have enough money for it. That's my problem. Now, I want you to think of somebody else in this world. Let's pick an example of somebody that's got way bigger problems than that. Let's say Jeff Bezos, okay? Richest man in the world. What kind of problems do you think Jeff has? See, you might say, oh, he's got no problems. He's rich. What does he have to worry about? Okay, think about the problem caused by, you know, owning a global company that's regulated by several different governments. Think about the problem of having to deal with thousands of employees and making sure your company makes enough money to feed all those people and make sure they get paid on time. Okay, think about the problem of taxes with a billionaire, a guy like that. Like, how much does he probably have to pay in taxes? Not percent, dollars, okay? You can say, oh, he only pays 10% or 5% or whatever the percentage is. But the fact is, even if it's only 5%, his 5% is more dollars than your 30%. See, when you look at your problems and you focus on them, you get to thinking that they're the only problems out there. But the reality is that the bigger your problems are, the more juicy the payoff is on the solutions. See, if you keep thinking about how am I going to pay my mortgage, and that's the only problem you play with, that's the only game you play, you're always going to be stuck with that problem. And the solution is never going to be worth it, because the only thing that's going to happen is you're going to have the ability to pay your bills next month. And then the following month, you'll be terrified again, worried about how do I pay my mortgage. See, if you increase the size of your problem, though, and you're like, man, all right, how do I pay 10 people to work in my business if it's just me? Or if I've got 10 already, how do I get 100 people to work in my business? That's a problem. Now I got payroll. Now I've got taxes. Now I've got issues. Now I've got stuff to be concerned with. But when I solve the problem of how do I hire 100 people, guess what? The payoff on that is way bigger than how do I solve the problem of paying my mortgage this month. Okay, or if your issue is saving, like, quit worrying about your $1,000 emergency fund. If that's the biggest problem you have in your life, because Dave Ramsey said, then you're always going to be terrified and you're never going to be earning big money because $1,000 is a lot of money to you. But if you think about the problem of, all right, how do I save $100,000 in the next 12 months? Now, you might look at that and say that's unrealistic, but what I look at is it should be unrealistic for somebody that has the capability you have to be worried about $1,000. That's what should be unrealistic. See, when you increase the size of your problems, it does two different things. A, it increases the payoff and it makes it worth your time to actually go into creativity mode and solve the problem. And B, it makes the problems you've been dealing with look like nothing. See, I guarantee you, Jeff Bezos is not worried about paying his mortgage. You might consider that a luxury, but he probably is worried about other things that are way outside your world right now because they're just so big. Okay, there's a story from Elon Musk that I read about when he sold PayPal. He invested all of the money into SpaceX and Tesla to the point that he actually had to borrow rent money from his mom that month. And he sold it for like $100 million. See, the level of your problems determine the solutions. He created a new problem. I just got $100 million. Now I'm broke again. I invested it back all into my companies. I've got to go figure out how to make another $100 million. And guess what? He did just that. So I want you to think about when you're dealing with your problems, when you're going into victim mode, thinking about, man, I'm terrified. How am I going to make it? How's it going to work? This is impossible. And you start getting negative. I want you to 10x the size of your problem. Take it, make it 10 times bigger. How do I deal with something 10 times bigger? Because if I'm going to worry, at least make it worth my time. At least make it worth my while. At least make it something that I can be proud of worrying about. Okay, like it's the difference between worrying about being mauled by a bear or falling off your bike. Like if I'm going to worry about something, at least I want to have a cool story about being attacked by a bear. Not being like I was terrified like I was going to get attacked by a bear, but really all I was going to do is fall off my bike. That's most of us right now, though. So I hope that helps you, and I hope that changes your thinking when it comes to problems. The bigger the problems, the better. The bigger the problems, the bigger the payoff. It's going to be worth your while. It's going to make your tiny little problems you have right now look like nothing. And ultimately, you're going to live a bigger life because problems will never go away. That's what I want to leave you with. Problems will never go away. So you can either cause them on purpose and choose them on purpose, or pretend like you're never going to have a problem and be surprised every single time you do have one, because they will always exist. So guys, I hope that helps. Like, share, subscribe. I appreciate it. Have a great night. Talk to you guys soon.